Hey everybody, I'm Tara from Crooked Row, and I just wanted to make a video really quickly and talk a little bit about what to seed start in. Especially if you're new. I always thought that I had to have exactly what I saw all these people on YouTube or television using, like all these great growing systems and things. And over the years, we have spent a lot of money on these systems, but a lot of them I also didn't have at first. And so I had to utilize what I had. So I wanted to kind of go over what we have used and what I think people can use if you don't have the money to get all of that stuff started from a seed starting system. I think I had shared 2 videos ago that Garden Supply, gardeners.com I think it is, which is a great place to shop, but they are very expensive. One 25 cell seed starting tray is $17.99, so that's 18 bucks for one tray. And then even if you go at the cheap end, I was at Lowe's or Home Depot, one of them, and they were selling, you know, just the, it might be maybe it's Jiffy, I can't remember what brand it is, but they had seed starting systems, and those were all between $7 to $12 a piece. And you know, if you only have to start 1 or 2 trays, that will probably work for you. But I mean, for us gardeners, and actually it won't work for everyone. So I wanted to point out that we can get inventive with what we use, and that is completely okay. And I know that like it's real popular right now to utilize the 2 solo cup method for planting tomatoes, and it is a good idea, but as you know, I don't like waste. And so I like to use things over and over and over again. And one thing that I have found that really works for us, and we have done it multiple times, is I save my Aldi sour cream containers. And I have one, or a bunch actually around here somewhere. My kids love cottage cheese, and we use Aldi's cottage cheese containers too, but they're about this size. And this will rival any 4-inch pot. So these are food grade containers. And so if we can utilize these, you can't just use anything. And I know a lot of people do, and they're like, oh, I didn't die from doing it. But I know that there's all these health things that can happen, microplastics and leaching and all sorts of stuff that I am not an expert in. So to be on the safe side, I try to use something that is definitely food grade. And and this is a brand new one that we just washed. But so we'll just poke holes down in the bottom, make sure that there's plenty of drainage. And if you have a plant that does not need light for germination, keep the top to the sour cream. I mean, it will keep your container more moist. It'll act like a humidity dome, and it'll keep it in darkness. Now, if it's something that needs light to germinate, of course, don't put it on there. And, you know, if you just need light to shine through, plastic wrap. I mean, there are answers to everything. So if you're like us, I mean, I have kids who eat yogurt, and we go through lots of sour cream, and we go through lots of cottage cheese. And I hate to just throw these things away, because these are actually, I mean, these are very sturdy containers that I absolutely love. Another one is, and I did a video on this last year. Another one is the toilet paper. These are free. I mean, and we all just shove these right in the trash. And you don't have to use, this is 2 because you cut these in half. The only thing you have to have is a tray. And so I wanted to show something that could totally be used for a tray. This is what our ground beef came in. And you could use this so that you could stack all your little toilet paper holders, or whatever else, your sour cream containers, your cottage cheese, whatever. And these can be used as trays. And I know that most supermarkets use these now for their meat anyway. So why throw it into a landfill? You might as well scrub that out. Again, this is another thing that is food safe. So if it's food safe, then it's definitely gonna be garden safe. And get a second, third, maybe fourth use out of it. I like to make sure everything is used to its fullness. These are wonderful, wonderful ways to start your seeds. Now, one word of warning, if you do use the toilet paper holders, is what I try to do is I get them in their trays pretty tightly, and I don't move them. Like once they sprout, I put them in the ground. So you'll want to save these for an item that you can just transplant out. I mean, I guess you could pot them up once they have sprouted. So let's nix that, because the reason why I say that is because when you start watering these, even like last year, I had left a little space on the side of my tray so that I could still bottom water these. And it worked great. I think I grew cabbage in them and it worked great. The plants were fine, but these do start to break down a lot. So I would just personally plan on, if you're gonna use these, plan on potting up soon or planting soon. But they're a great way to keep your plants separated within the tray and still having that. I guess these would be used more as a delineation within the tray, because they do break down quite a bit. But hey, yet another use that you can use something for. So let's go on to the next thing that can be used. So the next thing that can be used, of course, and if you watch this channel at all, you know I use these lots and lots, is water jugs. Now you can have a simple water jug or a milk jug that you're using. I love these big ones though for like onions and chives and things that kind of clump together when they grow. But you can use those. You can use, I also have a croissant container. Clearly this has its own humidity dome, and you just poke holes in the bottom of this and fill it with your seed starting mix and then close it. And I mean, these are fantastic things that you're already gonna have in your home to use for your seed starting setup. I just love this idea of using what we have. So next thing that I personally use is styrofoam cups. You can also use the Solo cups, but I can get like 75 of these at the dollar store for $1. So these are fantastic. They're easy to poke holes in the bottom, and for me, they last forever. I mean, as you can see, I wanted you to see this. So last year I planted Blue Queen Salvia, but the year before I planted Black Mountain melons in this. So this cup has already been used twice. It's gonna get used again when I start to pot up all my tomato plants this year. But there's also, you know, if you don't have these, that's okay. But I always get suckered into purchasing things when I go to Lowe's or Home Depot or my local store. This is a stack of 3 that I can't get apart right now because I'm holding the camera. You can see that. But it's just these 4-inch containers. Do not throw these away. I mean, I think people are always tempted to throw these things away and just be done with it. But if you just tuck it away in a garage, a basement, a greenhouse, a shed, a barn, anywhere you can, these are invaluable when I go to pot up any of my plants from the tiny cell trays. You know, I do end up potting these things up. So this definitely works. So keep all of these, and a lot of times even, and I know I'm gonna sound so cheap, but it's not cheap, I'm efficient. That's what I always say. Even when you see, can you see that slit that's in them? I will just come out with some duct tape, and I'll tape those up and just use them again. Because think about it, what we're doing is we're just trying to get seeds started in soil, and then eventually, like in the 4-inch containers and things, we're going to pot them up. So if you want to run out and buy your own, I'm not saying this in a judgmental way, like everyone should be doing this because I'm some big recycler or something. I just don't like waste. Mine has nothing to do with any kind of agenda. I just don't like waste, and I try to utilize everything until it has no more life left. And for me, I can mend a lot of things and keep using them. That's kind of part of being a homesteader anyway. So I want to encourage that for sure. So another thing, if you don't have the money, I know you all have toilet paper rolls, so you definitely can do that. Maybe some of you don't have the containers that I do because I have so many kids. And so maybe you don't have the same amount of sour cream or yogurt or cottage cheese containers that I do. Or maybe that's going to be a next year thing for you. Definitely use trays. It doesn't even have to be these trays. Like clearly I get tons of ground beef because I have 4 kids, and you don't have to use this in particular. You can use this, or even the plastic salad containers that come with salad. But you can also use the thicker, like I call them brownie pans, but they're like baking sheets, but they're deep. You can also use those. You're just gonna fill. The only thing with those things is you do need drainage. So this would be where I would highly suggest at least trying to utilize these, again, because I know all of you have them. And then that way the seedlings also can like sit up off of each other so that water can flow in between each other. But you know, if worse comes to worse, you just try to plant them all in something like this. You can also double layer these, put holes in them, and put one that doesn't have holes in it, and literally use this. I mean, just fill this whole thing with soil. This will be the one with the holes in the bottom, and then put it in another one that can catch the water. But there's so many things, so many ways that you can do this. I have watched beautiful, wonderful gardeners use the most creative, neat things. I mean, I know that there is a farm on the other side of Ohio where he plants in nothing but tractor tires. Now, I'm an organic gardener, so I wouldn't plant in tractor tires. I'd be afraid what was leaching out of them. But what a brilliant thought, like to utilize that. It concentrates the dirt in one area, and you can weed right there and your plants are good. I mean, I just think that we all we're not cookie cutters. And so we're not cookie cutter gardeners. And so there are so many neat little tips and tricks of what to use. I think that when someone is telling you not to use something, unless it's like something that will harm your health or just whatever, there is no reason why you cannot start your own seeds. I know that people tell me that they're not set up to start seeds, but I had a friend of mine who started her seeds by the warmth of her refrigerator, the top of her refrigerator. She would let her seedlings germinate because some seeds need light, but not all seeds need light. So she would put her trays on top of her refrigerator, and then as soon as they would germinate, she would get them under a lamp light. And she would just curve that neck down to, and is that optimal? No. Can you grow hundreds of crops like that? No, you can't. But hey, it worked for her. And what an amazing, what an amazing spirit for somebody to want to garden that badly that they went to any extreme that they could in order to grow things. I love that. I think that's wonderful. So these are options that make gardening so incredibly easy. And so you do what works for you. I ask that if you have an inventive way that you are gardening, or starting your seeds, I should say, put it in the comments below. I would love to see pictures even. I think that we need to have inventive things, and gardeners are very inventive, so show us what you got. So that's all I have for today. I just wanted to drop a quick video so that you don't get discouraged in seeing all these people and their beautiful seed starting setups and think that you can't do it because you don't do it like that. It's a versatile hobby that we're all doing, and I would love to see yours. So thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time. And remember, if we can DIY our seed starting, anybody can. Thanks. Bye.